Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you the New York Comic Con 2023 Marvel and DC announcements. Now, I saw more stuff for Marvel than for DC, so let's kind of get into it. But there were two major kind of ones for DC that I do want to talk about that are pretty kind of cool. Let's see here. They are doing an ongoing Avengers series for Marvel Unlimited, which is kind of cool. Oh, that's kind of cool. It evidently works upon like an interstellar disaster, play out as an interconnected 25-issue arc. So if you're into that, let's see. Teasing a never-before-seen alien race in Marvel Comics, the Gesh. This enlightened, technologically advanced society appears peaceful on first contact, but they're not but they are not all that they appear to be. So if you're into and subscribe to Marvel Unlimited, that sounds like an interesting one to get on. They also talked more about the gang war, which I'm already into the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm not going to go out into the other ones because it's really weird. There's not a main kind of one that's going on, kind of like they did with the Dark Web, but it's mainly going to be happening in Amazing Spider-Man, I guess, and then what kind of goes on in all the other one-shots. So they kind of talked about that. They did do a trailer one that actually looked pretty interesting. I do have to hand it to Marvel. They have been doing some really kind of cool ones for comic book trailers. Like a couple years ago, if you told me that there would be trailers for comic books, I would be like, how the fuck do you do that? And then actually seeing them like put them in motion and everything like that, I'm like, that's actually pretty kind of cool. Let's see here. And that there's evidently going to be a Sabretooth war. Let's see here. Yeah, of course, they've got one of the bloodiest feuds of Wolverine and Sabretooth. It's going to be a 10-parter to Percy's run on Wolverine. So if you've been reading Wolverine, it'll begin in Wolverine 41 and culminate in the landmark Wolverine 50. Hey! That actually sounds pretty cool. I hope that works out pretty well, and if you've been enjoying Wolverine, that this doesn't derail that enjoyment, because there's always that kind of fine line of like, hey, we've got this kind of storyline popping up, and sometimes it derails shit completely, and you're just like, I don't know what's going on anymore. That could have happened with Spider-Man, but it didn't. Even though I was not reading what was going on with Dark Web, I never felt like it completely derailed what was going on with the Amazing Spider-Man. That's always a good way to kind of handle it. So I hope that this like Sabretooth war works out pretty well, and that if you're interested in it, that you check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's see here. Main kind of big one was like the rise and fall of X-Men's Krakoa age. I also saw that they're bringing back Magneto, and we'll kind of have to see what kind of works on with that, how he's going to work within this age and everything of the X-Men kind of being pushed to extinction again, and what's kind of going on with that and all the insanity that's going to ensue. So we'll look about the changes of that. I mean, that's definitely probably going to affect the status quo of Invincible Iron Man, since they've connected him that much with Emma Frost and what's going on with the mutants at this point. So we'll see how this kind of ripples out to other titles within the Marvel Universe. There's also Avengers Twilight, a new vision of Marvel's Tomorrow by Chip Zdarsky and Daniel Asuna. Bold new take, and that evidently works with an old Steve Rogers. The Age of Heroes is kind of over, and seeing what kind of goes on with that. So it's an interesting kind of premise to see kind of what goes on with that. Steve Rogers living out and being beyond the other heroes and seeing how that kind of works out and what kind of goes on in that future. I do like that they have so many different kind of alternate takes that can be going on with the Marvel Universe, and then kind of picking along with certain kind of future ones, and then of course you just have it linked in the multiverse if the one kind of future doesn't happen. We're getting a cute, like, fiercest crossover with the Sentry in Infinity Paws, where we get, like, Jeff the Land Shark, Chewie, Alligator Loki, and Lucky the Pizza Dog, and dealing with, like, the Infinity Gems. So if you're into that, go for it. It's a weird, kind of cute looking thing, so yeah. And they evidently did some more talk about what's going on with the gods and how the gods series. So let me kind of look at that real quick. I might have to watch stuff with that and everything. Okay, you've met the heroes, now fear the villains. Science and magic must stand together as game-changing shifts in the Pantheon erupt and oblivion approaches. The trailer opens with Mia, the magic girl, a young mage with startling potential, taking her first steps towards an uncertain destiny as she's recruited by Aiko for the natural order of things. So okay, interesting. So science and magic, I definitely got that pegged. Things take a dramatic turn when Wynn, his apprentice Dimitri, and Doctor Strange confront Kubisk. As they dive deeper into their new enemy's plans and learn the power that's behind him, they'll discover the stakes at hand are greater than anyone could have imagined. And then, of course, it showcases the next kind of... Oh, goddamn. The covers. I mean, I've already shown kind of like 2, 3... This fourth one I hadn't seen before with Wynn and Strange. That's fucking gnarly. I don't know about gods. I don't think that the first issue was really bad at all. It's just very heavy in what it's trying to do. So we'll see how this kind of works out. How far they kind of go. What the repercussions are going to be for all this. I do like Wynn's character. I hope he pops up more in what's kind of going on. I like his dynamic with Dimitri. Aiko, I got a sense of her in that comic, but I kind of needed to go under her more. It looks like we're doing kind of opposite kind of apprentices, where Wynn's got kind of a magical person, not a magical person, flip that, reverse it. Wynn, the magical dude, has a science kind of dude as his apprentice, and Aiko, the science woman, seems to be getting a magical person as her kind of apprentice thing to like build back the natural order of things. We'll see how that kind of works out. But I'm interested in the repercussions of what can go on with the Marvel Universe. And of course, the biggest kind of thing is we're getting a new Ultimate Universe. We're also launching a new Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, and Ultimate X-Men. Let's see here. So, if you've been into the Ultimate Universe, I hope this works out better. Now, granted, I really liked Ultimate Spider-Man. I still need to collect this stuff with, like, Miles Morales. I got enough, a couple of it, but Miles was good stuff. And then it started getting into, like, the destruction and everything of the Ultimate Universe. Is like, what the fuck's going on here, man? So I'm glad that Miles is still within the main 616 universe. We're getting a new... So we're getting a new Ultimates one. We're getting a new Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's see. A bold new take on Spider-Man with the debut title of the new line of Ultimate Comics. After the events of Ultimate Invasion, the world needs a hero. Who will rise up to take on that responsibility? Prepare to be entangled in a web of mystery and excitement as the all-new Ultimate Spider-Man comic redefines the wall crawler for the 21st century. Teasing the series, Hickman said, Ultimate Spider-Man is a book I never thought I'd be writing. It's a bit of a Peter B. Parker situation. So we'll kind of see what goes on there, because that's not Miles. Miles has been the Ultimate one for a good while and then brought in after everything that happened with like Secret Wars. We are also getting an Ultimate Black Panther one, which, by the way, that looks kind of weird. I do like T'Challa's costume design here. Wait a minute. I don't even know if that's T'Challa. That one's being by Brian Hill and Stefano Casilli. A bold new take on the world of Black Panther. Oh, God. Influences of Frank Herbert's world-building capacity of Dune. Okay, I can understand that. I don't even know if that's T'Challa. Well, this is interesting. In the wake of Ultimate Invasion, Khonshu and Ra, the forces known together as Moon Knight, are seeking to expand their brutal control of the continent of Africa. In response to the lone bulwark against them, the isolated nation of Wakanda will send forth its champion, its king, the Black Panther. That's interesting. And then we've got Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko. In Japan, when a young student named Hisako Ichiki develops armor power. She discovers she's a mutant, and she's not the only one. Meet a new generation of mutants filled with original and familiar X-Men characters. Together, they'll learn what it means to be mutant in the Ultimate Universe as they explore their emerging powers and the startling ways they connect to folklore, legend, and magic. So, if you're excited for that, and that sounds kind of interesting to you, I hope you check out the Ultimate line. It's just, it got a little bit weird for me of certain kind of Ultimate ones. I just mainly stuck to Ultimate Spider-Man because of how well written it was and how awesome the art was. And then it just started going kind of nutty and everything. And when you get Blob eating the Wasp, it's just like, oh. And then it going like almost hardcore Game of Thrones style of like, we're gonna kill everybody. It's like, ooh, you gotta watch out. You don't have to not kill everybody, but you gotta be careful to not willy-nilly kill everybody. You got Jeff the Land Shark returns for its Jeff Season 3. That's kind of cool. There was a Women of Marvel panel announcement, and the big kind of one, Blood Hunt. By Jed MacKay, linking up the kind of stuff that he's been doing in Doctor Strange and Moon Knight and the Avengers. And I know this sounds kind of similar to what's kind of like DC did a whole kind of vampire one as well, but now we got him dealing with a vampire event. So I'm really excited to see what's kind of going on with that, because I didn't know much of Jed MacKay's work until he took over Doctor Strange. I'm like, ooh, I'm really liking this. I'm really enjoying this. And then I'm like, all right, let me see how this Avengers works on. And then it was just like, again, damn it, you got me again. And I just like his writing style and what kind of goes on. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on with that Blood Hunt. And how it kind of affects what's going on with everything else around it. It was just pretty much like getting into The Amazing Spider-Man. I'm like, I'll check this out, and then it's like, fuck, you got me. Alright, so that's main of the Marvel stuff that they did. Also talked about Marvel Spider-Man 2, which will be coming out soon. I've been seeing that the reviews have been popping up, and I'm glad that it's been getting good reviews. Let's see, now let's move to DC. So the two main ones here is that we're going to have Jason Aaron hopping to DC for Superman, doing stuff with Action Comics and dealing with Bizarro, which we also get a couple of artwork in this one kind of article that I'm looking for. And I'm just like, this might be an interesting one to like, because I've been thinking of jumping into maybe like some Superman comics at some point. This would be an interesting one to jump in on, since I like Jason Aaron. I love his Thor run. I liked what he was doing with Avengers before it kind of started just, I felt like it was dragging a little bit with the whole kind of multiverse thing, and I was just like, I'm kind of okay. But evidently this is a big kind of phase of Superman Superstars, that it's like a project thing with paired celebrated writers and artists for can't-miss Superman stories and one of DC's flagship titles throughout 2024. So, second installment, Superman scribe and DC Comics heavyweight Joshua Williams with artist Rafa Sandoval is working on an Action Comics Superman crossover covering the return of one of the Man of Steel's biggest baddies, Brainiac. Ooh. And as a bonus, Lobo, the last Caesarian, is there too. I'm sorry if I mispronounce these things. Seriously. Okay, so Aaron and Tim's iBizarro kicks off on January 9th, while Williamson's and Sandoval's House of Brainiac will debut in April in Action Comics 1064. And then also DC is bringing back its Elseworlds imprint, which, if you're into that, cool. I hope you get some really kind of cool stories and everything out of that, where they're able to do kind of crazier kind of things with DC. So those are the main ones that I got with DC. Now, granted, I'm more of a Marvel person, but I tried to find things on these, at least even on the internet. But the big problem that's come on is that Comic-Con has more stuff on like TV shows and stuff. Like, I found more stuff on The Walking Dead and The Wheel of Time then on the Marvel comics, like I had to scroll through certain stuff because Marvel's website at least updated me on certain kind of things a little bit better, as I could like find everything in that kind of one place and then go on to different kind of article sub places to like get a little bit more information. It's really kind of strange. I'm like, I kind of want the comic news. That I don't mind that we've got other kind of ones, but it's just really kind of weird to had that kind of problem of like, it's Comic-Con, I kind of want the comic news. So most of the stuff that was revealed for Marvel was stuff that we pretty much knew, except for like Blood Hunt and other stuff with like the relaunching of the Ultimate Universe. But I mean, we pretty much knew that of what was going to be coming on from Ultimate Invasion. Now we just got a little bit more of an understanding of how they're going to be doing it, launching it with Ultimate Universe and relaunching the Ultimate Universe with Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, and Ultimate X-Men. I think that's a pretty interesting kind of three-way to anchor the Ultimate Universe. Ultimate Spider-Man's kind of a given because of how much of a cornerstone and an anchor the original Ultimate Spider-Man was to the Ultimate Universe. Going with Ultimate Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men, definitely kind of cool. I hope that they're able to... Now granted, Ultimate X-Men was still an important kind of part of the Ultimate Universe. I'm very interested to see how they're able to do Ultimate Black Panther and help that kind of tie in to being the anchor for what we've gotten for the Ultimate Universe. And I hope that does well, and that people enjoy what kind of goes on with that. I'm looking forward to Blood Hunt. I'm looking forward to Gang War, especially with what we've come off of with the current Ultimate Spider-Man arc, and seeing what kind of goes on with everything. I'm like, okay, like, I kind of wanted maybe to see a little bit more of a tease of what's kind of going on, but I don't mind. If it's not ready, wait till it's ready. I can wait for that kind of stuff. DC's kind of weird, and if I missed anything, because I did my... trying to search anything on the internet, even for the past couple of years, has been a fucking horrendous kind of nightmare in and of itself, where it's like, do you mean this? And I'm like, no! But this is more compounded on the fact that the New York Comic-Con has expanded, well, any kind of Comic-Con, except for like your local ones and certain ones that are like, we're just focusing on comics. They've got other kind of things that take up all the kind of stuff, because there was stuff on TV shows. A new Dragon Ball show that's got chibi stuff, so we'll kind of see how that works out. But I was kind of like, hey, what's kind of going on? So even though the DC ones I could only find were like the Elseworlds coming back, and I'm really interested to see how Jason Aaron's stuff goes for Superman. I loved his take on Thor, and him doing Superman's definitely going to be interesting. So we'll see kind of what goes on with that. I'll kind of figure out kind of what's going on there, kind of my thoughts on where to go with that. And if there's other kind of stuff, leave it in the comments. Talk to me about it. I, of course, want to learn more about the comics and talk more about comics with people. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the reveals, if you didn't like the reveals, if you agree with me on certain things, if you disagree with me on certain things, and just talk to me. Like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.